this is May and welcome back to my channel for a brand new speed build. So today I am building a home for a retired couple in Oasis Springs for my save file. I've been in such an Oasis Springs mood lately, and it's definitely my favorite base game world to build in because you can do so many different styles here, and I just think the overall world is so different from what I'm used to in real life. So yeah, I've been enjoying building here a lot, and I'm actually already getting close to finishing this neighborhood we're working on today. So I'm currently working on a family home and a wedding venue in this neighborhood. I don't think I've ever actually finished a build here before, so the one we're in is at the top left corner of Oasis Springs, and it kind of reminds me of a gated community or even a neighborhood with retired Sims actually, which is what today's build is for, elderly Sims. I built this over on Twitch, by the way, so if you ever want to catch me live building or playing The Sims, you can always leave a follow over on twitch.tv/honeymaysims and you will get notified every time I go live. My current schedule is Tuesday, Saturday, Sunday at 11 a.m. CET or on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. CET. I've recently switched my Thursday stream to be a later one so more people can catch me live. So if that's of any interest, make sure to leave a follow and I hope to see you next time. I'm also getting really close to being able to apply for Twitch partner as well, so all views are more than appreciated. So yeah, just a little shameless plug there, I suppose. And yeah, I've also been building a lot of starter homes lately, as you might have seen on my channel, unless you're new here today. And if that is the case, I do have a playlist up on my channel with all the save file builds. So if you want to check that out after this video, then it's all there ready for you. But yeah, I wanted to continue the same style that I've kind of done before in Oasis Springs, sort of like Mediterranean or even Los Angeles inspired style. But to switch between different types of doors, windows, fencing, all that jazz. And for my Oasis Springs build in this similar style, they all either have dark brown or more of a lighter brown used in them. So today we have the lighter brown going on. And another thing that is different with this house than the others is that I've used the flat roof, like more of a flat roof, like there's no gables, I think you call them. So just a hip roof basically, and I quite like how this entire house turned out, and it's quite fitting for this neighborhood. It looks a bit fancy, but it still has that classic look to it on the outside. Since this is a 30 by 20 lot, I didn't end up having too much space on the outside to decorate or use for landscaping, seeing as the actual house did turn out a bit bigger than I had anticipated, but I tried to do the best with it. We do have more of a half fenced in area in the front of the house where we'll have a hot tub and just some sofas below a covered area, which I totally would imagine the elderly couple would enjoy, or some of their family members if they came over to visit. The backyard is also fenced in. It has kind of like a lap pool, and it has a grill and a bar area, some sun loungers, and even an outdoors fireplace. I've used the one from Snowy Escape, and I rarely use that one, but it works really well in this kind of a setting, like as an outdoors fireplace. I would imagine the desert evenings and nights could get cold, so it is a nice addition in my opinion. As for today's household though, there are only 2 Sims and their pit bull dog Ollie living here. The elderly couple are Vic Malik and John Reynolds, perhaps a bit of an odd pair together, but I really like the idea of them because both of them have kids from previous relationships and marriages, and then they kind of just found their way together as perhaps late adults, and maybe they even knew each other from before, starting off as friends or something similar. And then they just kind of bonded and decided to move in together and hopefully live the rest of their life together. So I will start off by talking about John. So John Reynolds, he is a retired detective. He used to be a lieutenant, and he has 2 daughters, Deborah and Jody, whereas the eldest, Deborah, who works within business, has her own family, and the youngest, Jody, is just starting out as a young adult and as a teacher. So John here, he was previously married to Dolly Hansen, who is quite a spirited and outgoing sim. She's still working as a teacher or within the administration part of the teaching career, and she'll also live in Oasis Springs, but in more of a retro mid-century home with a pool and everything, and I think that works really well for her. I haven't started on that house yet, but I am planning to do so pretty soon. And Dolly, John, and Vic, they are all actually friends. So there's no bad blood between them, and I thought that was really refreshing. So they probably celebrate the holidays and all together, the entire family just coming together. And yeah, as I mentioned, Deborah, John's oldest daughter, she has her own family. She's an adult and she's engaged to Chen Yang, who is an engineer, but he's also quite an active sim. So their teen daughter is actually into like fitness, working out as well, and she's on the football team. They do have a toddler together as well, Jiro, and yeah, since Deborah and Chen aren't officially married yet, both the kids have the name Reynolds Yang, which I thought was nice. And I think a part of their storyline is that they've been engaged for a really long time, and perhaps it's time they get married. But I'll talk more about them when I make their home, which I think is going to be in Newcrest. As for Jodie, the youngest of John's daughters, she's a quite family-oriented and generous sim, and she is a teacher like her mom. She's following in her mom's footsteps, basically. And she would really love to have her own family one day. I am debating if I should let her live with her mom, because I'm running out of lots to use in the base game worlds, actually. But I think that could work. And her mom is going to live on a bigger lot anyway, and knowing myself, there will probably be an extra bedroom in Dolly's home. And yeah, more about them in another video, of course. So the traits that John has are maker, perfectionist, and loner. He also has the outdoor enthusiast aspiration. Probably, he's probably been camping a lot, even, when he was younger, but also when he's an elderly sim like now, and he wants to continue with that. He's also into woodworking and fitness. I would say he needed to stay fit for his job as a detective, and then he has just continued with it even after being retired. They do have a workout room in this house, so they can use the treadmill or do some yoga, which I think would be really nice for our elderly sims living here. And I did put in a woodworking table in the backyard. I just think I didn't show it in the speed build here. And by the way, John is wearing a tracksuit, by the way, which I thought fitted him so well. He just wants to be comfortable. Meanwhile, Vic is more fashionable and cares more about his looks. He also has this slicked back here and this amazing beard from the Life and Death pack, and it almost makes Vic here look like maybe a pirate in a way. A good looking one, if that makes sense. It was just like the first thing I thought of when, like, after I finished Vic, is that he kind of has that look to him. And yeah, Vic Malik, he is the dad of one of my sims that I've made a home for a couple of months ago, Sufyan, the artsy university student who's crashing at a friend's apartment in Newcrest. I'm not too sure about their dynamic, actually. They might just be completely neutral to one another. Perhaps they were never really close when Sufyan was growing up. So yeah, maybe just an okay relationship. They probably don't see each other that much, a bit passive. And anyway, Sufyan is probably too busy in university partying and studying like the party animal he is. But he is creative though, which he has taken from his dad, because Vic is working as a stylist. He has a passion for fashion, if you will. And saying that just makes me think of Bratz. If you're familiar with those dolls from the 2000s, and if I'm not mistaken, they probably continued those like into the 2010s as well. But yeah, I basically grew up with Bratz and I was obsessed there for a moment. Like rewatching the movies over and over again, playing the games, having the dolls. Like, it was definitely my Bratz and Sims era. Even though arguably I am still in my Sims era. I just always loved Sims, I started playing it at a young age. I started with The Sims 1 and then I've just grown up with The Sims and all the different versions. And there was something really fun about quote unquote like playing with dolls and coming up with stories, but in a game, you know? And I think that has definitely inspired me to do storytelling even as an adult, like I'm doing for my save file these days. And I just love being creative like that. So The Sims is truly a creative game, in my opinion, and at this stage, you'll probably catch me at 80 years old still playing The Sims because I'm obsessed. But yeah, anyway, so Vic here, he is a stylist. He is not retired, even though I feel like he might feel like doing that soon. So technically, not both of them are retired, but I wanted to call this build a home for retired Sims regardless. And since they are both elders and we have wills in The Sims 4 now, thanks to the Life and Death pack, I have started both Vic's and John's wills. There's like nothing major yet, but I did choose Deborah and her family as the ones to take over Ollie, the dog, and then they would probably split the household funds kind of evenly between their 3 kids. I sort of wish you could pick someone to take over the home as well though, but I feel like it would be difficult for that to work with the current homeowner system. I mean, sure you can own multiple lots with a for rent pack, but if you don't have that one, it would be impossible to have someone own a second home. But yeah, I don't have a lot of experience with the wills yet, but I do wonder if, like, when the Sims die, if the house gets sold automatically and gets added into the household funds that get shared with the Sims you've selected to inherit the money. So yeah, if anyone knows how that works, do let me know. It would be really interesting to hear. As for Vic's traits though, his are creative, snob, and vegetarian. Nothing too crazy going on there. Yeah, when John's family is visiting, or Vic's son for that matter, there are 2 guest bedrooms in this house. I just had too many rooms that I needed, so I just decided to make them guest bedrooms. I mean, it's kind of realistic in that way anyway. And if you do have the Growing Together pack, you can actually arrange certain Sims to stay over at your place for a period of time. So that's technically what these rooms are meant for, and that way they are, like, quote unquote functional. So one room has a double bed and another is a single bedroom, and we do have a formal dining room downstairs just across the hall from the kitchen, which can be used for holidays or for bigger gatherings like a dinner party, a birthday party. And I definitely think they could host some pool parties here because the outdoors areas are really like chef's kiss. We do have the hot tub, the pool, the sun loungers, grill, bar, all the good things. I believe Vic and John, they are really living the life in this house. I do have to say, I use a lot of browns, beiges, and whites in this house. I just have a thing going on for those colors at the moment, both in real life and in The Sims. But if I had to argue with my choice of colors, I think they fit really well with the whole desert vibe, in my opinion at least. But I really do have to do some different color schemes soon again though, like maybe go a bit darker or more colorful, definitely. Just to set the houses more apart, you know. I do think Vic was the one responsible for the furnishing in the house though, because I feel like John would probably be a bit more old-fashioned in terms of interior style, or he would be maybe a bit more careless, so he wouldn't mind Vic just going all out, making the decisions. And Vic is a stylist after all. He loves to be creative and work with colors, or perhaps lack thereof in this house. He probably just likes a calming color scheme, like very earthy neutrals, you know. Out of all the bathrooms in this house, I think there are 4 in total. The big downstairs one by the entry door is my favorite. It does have some laundry stuff as well. We have the washer and dryer and the hampers, but I love the color combination of white and dark brown. And I'm using the bathtub from Seasons. I never really use that one because the bottom of it isn't too versatile. It wouldn't fit in just any kind of bathroom, you know. But here it just works. The whole bathroom is a bit boho, and there's also a big picture above the bathtub as well. I don't know how well that would work in real life, but it's The Sims and we can just do whatever, you know. I think it works. The kitchen does use the same counters as in the bathrooms, and the color scheme is very similar with like the white, brown, and black. It is quite the spacious kitchen with counters against literally every wall, and for once I did put in double stoves. It doesn't really serve any real purpose in The Sims, so it's mostly just for the aesthetic. They've also got the fancy get-together coffee machines in here. Again, it's probably Vic's doing. He wants some of those fancy appliances. We also have a waffle maker as well, though. I think the grandkids would love being served some waffles when visiting, and I did mention a more formal dining room just earlier, but we've also got a more of a casual or breakfast table in the actual kitchen, so just like very simple. I completely forgot to mention the living room when I was like building it on screen here. I think the living room was one of the first rooms I did actually for the interior. I wouldn't say it's anything special, but I did struggle a lot in the beginning with it because I couldn't figure out what to have in it, especially where the big shelf and the record playing are at the moment. Those were two difficult corners for whatever reason, but I think I kind of managed to make something work. We also do have an indoors fireplace. I placed one of the cottage living ones, I do believe. I love those from that pack. I mean, cottage living in itself is quite good. And then around the fireplace, I wanted lots of seating space, so we have the two different couches and an extra armchair in the nook. And one thing I absolutely love to add as an extra realistic detail are the game board pieces from Growing Together. And you can find those accessing the debug catalog. I usually just use the Better Build by mod and the organized debug mode that comes with that, because it's very simple to find both debug and live edit objects that way, but you can also access it through cheats. So I got those and placed them on the coffee table, so maybe Vic and John have been maybe playing Scrabble, or the grandkids have forgotten to clean it up when they've been playing it. But yeah, I love imagining those little scenarios that might happen in this house, and since we have elderly Sims in this household, I thought it would be perfect to have a massage chair in the living room. Perfect for those achy bones, you know. Like I mentioned earlier, there are two guest bedrooms, one downstairs and one upstairs. Vic and John's main bedroom has lots of wardrobe space and they have their own ensuite. Not too much going on in their bedroom, I would say. I wanted it to be a bit clean, you know. I did put in some magazines at the lower level of the nightstand, and then a box in the other one on the other side of the bed. Those details are cute though, very simple, but it makes the house look more lived in. Last but not least, I wanted to add in an office or a working space for Vic, seeing as he's technically still working his day job as a stylist. I'm so glad they decided to add this career to the base game, by the way. Again, I love it, very Bratz, you know, esque. But yeah, I wanted the office to, of course, symbolize the kind of work Vic does. I put in a wardrobe to probably store lots of clothing and other necessary equipment. There is a clothing rack. This one is from high school years. I always forget to use them, but they work really well here and they work well in any type of clothing store. I also put in some shoes and shoe boxes below the clothing rack. And one necessary thing that you actually get from working in this career is the style board or pin board, whatever you want to call it. So the style influencers can pin their ideas and whatnot. So we got that in here, just above like an end table with some clutter and all. And another thing that I feel like matches this career so well is the styling chair from Get Famous. I think we might have gotten the style influencer career around the time we got Get Famous, if I'm not totally mistaken. But I love it. I love that it's functional and we can absolutely use it here in this room. And other than that, we just got a desk for work. There's a PC and a digital drawing pad. So instead of using an easel to gain painting skill, Vic much prefers to use the drawing pad and do digital art. I'm just really happy with this household. Their extended family I'll continue to work on, and the house, of course. And I hope you enjoyed it too. I also want to give A big shout out to those of you who have given super thanks in the comments in my previous videos and or have become members of the channel. It really does not go unnoticed, and I appreciate you so much for the extra support, and just overall thank you all for watching my videos. So all the love, and I can't wait to share another video with you all soon again. And yeah, other than that, I'm just finishing up the build here and we'll soon head into the screenshots. So that's basically it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content in the future. If you want to be notified of when I upload a video next, make sure to click the bell icon too. This build is playtested and up on my gallery. My ID is honeymaysims, or you can find me with the hashtag honeymaysims as well. You can also grab the trade files in the description. So thank you all so much for hanging out with me today as we build this home for a retired couple, and I can't wait to talk to you all in the next video. Until then, take care. Bye!